Hi, I'm Mandy, and I'm with the Birth Parent Advisory Board for the state of Indiana, and I wanted to share some things that we've been doing with you guys. So over the past year, we had lots of different events that we've been working on, lots of initiatives that we've helped get started, and lots of things that were concerning for us as a group of people. So let's get started with 2023, and maybe soon we can come and update you about 2024. So in 2023, we recognized as a board that we needed to really step up our game with what reunification meant and how we were presenting that to the communities that we work in. And so for as a group, we decided that reunification was going to be more than a month, and we sort of piggybacked off of other events that were happening all over Indiana. So we went to the Summer of Recovery tour and presented Birth Parent Advisory Board material to parents in need, and we were meeting them in their recovery space because a lot of parents do fall into the category of having a DCS case while they're in active addiction. Most of us on the board have similar experiences with that as well. So we were able to meet parents who were in sobriety, parents that were not in sobriety, and ones that had, a working knowledge of DCS. And so this was really important to us over the course of 2023 because it opened a lot of doors. And so what we wanted to do was use what we kind of learned at these events and take it to other things. And we ended up being able to go to several events and talk about the things that we learned. We know that it added value of us being there because it showed number one, hope of recovery, hope of reunification, restoration of families, and what you can be even if you were a person in the system. And that was basically our whole summer. We spent traveling all over Indiana, making sure people knew what we were doing as far as that. And then in May of last year, I was able to go to Washington, D.C. and speak in front of some of the government officials in charge of child welfare services, in the United States. And it was a really great opportunity to present on what hope looked like for the state of Indiana. We were able to present that, Indiana has had a lowered amount of foster cases, a lowered amount of people in the system, and Connecticut was also on that list. And we all got to talk about why that was and what we were doing that was so positive and amazing. Parents that had made that possible, people who were speaking about their experiences in DCS, ways we could keep families together as opposed to putting them in foster care. And I personally got to speak about my own experience with being in the system and how even though that was a real thing, I didn't let that kind of control where we were at today. And to use our testimony for that and show some people who might not know about, what the system looked like, that there was hope, and that not everybody that's in the system is just going to keep having a recidivism issue, and that if we treat people like peers, and if you treat families that are in the system like me, if you say, hey, we want to work with you in 4 years when you're better, when you're clean and sober and you've gotten your life kind of back on track, if we told all parents that, there'd be more hope for what they're going through now, for it to mean something and to have a purpose. And that's really what the board is about. It's just using the terrible experience for a purpose and a reason. And we love it. It's super important to get the word out to administrative people and CEOs and these sort of corporate entities of child protective services that don't understand the family aspect of what's going on. And my husband is probably going to talk about, he sits on the policy board, and that's so important because when I talk about what he does, and I don't even remember, but he talks so specifically about policies and like what it's supposed to say and how it's supposed to affect families that I just get enthralled, and I tell other people, like, you could be this person. I don't know if this is like your thing, but it's so important to have a lived experience person doing a policy that's affecting families all over, because otherwise they don't understand how the language is affecting people. And so we're adding value in almost every aspect of meeting with these entities. And it's just so important to have a lived experience voice there. While we're not professionals, we are lived professionals. We have lived these things and we have seen the causes and the outcomes. And there are a couple things I do want to talk about real quick. So I know that the Thriving Families initiative is really important right now. I know that we went through a period of time where the Safer Families through Casey was happening, and also the Family First initiative through DCS. And I really, I've had a passion for that since I started the board. It was one of the first actually opportunities I got to hear anybody else from DCS present, and having Families First sort of as like my working knowledge of what the system was supposed to be, hearing someone from DCS present that in a way that made sense was so good. And I think that we should really focus on strengthening families in order to like make sure that the problem doesn't happen anymore. And the only way to do that is to make sure that the families are available for learning experiences, trainings, counseling, even basic parenting classes. A lot of people don't know how to budget their money. Again, substance use disorder, if you go that route, just addictive personalities in general, terrible childhoods. I know so many parents are just big kids like that we're not parented, and then we're given children and we're not taught like exactly what to do, and when we try to do it ourselves, it's no good. And we can teach people better, and we can love them while they learn it. And I think that that's super important, and that's how we strengthen families and keep them from coming back in the system. And I think if we work together, the professional working knowledge and the love and compassion and just keeping the balance on that these are people and these are people's kids and they just need some help. I think if we remember that, I think we'll go far and we'll make a huge impact. So that's what we're doing as a board, and we love it. We've created a support group for people who are still going through the system. We have meetings where we invite people to come and see what we're doing. And that's about it. Well, I mean, so many things, but those are the most important things to me. So thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, you can always feel free to ask Monica how to get a hold of us as a board, or how to, have us come speak at events, or, if you want our expertise involved. Thanks a lot.